How can you convert any 2D image into 3D object in Blender without modeling it? Alright, so the first step is gonna be to add a plane. So I would like to press A to delete everything. So A to select everything first. And you can press X and delete everything. Next, we can press Shift A and go to Mesh, and let's start with the plane. Alright, so let's zoom on it. So the next step is gonna be to get the same proportions of our logo image. So let's go back to our logo image, and we can do here right click, and let's go to Properties. And in the details here, I want to check the dimensions of our logo image. So we're having 419 multiplied by 447. So we need to match the same scale. So let's go back to our Blender scene. So we can zoom on it. I'd like to press N to get the transform here. And down below here for the dimensions, we can set it here 4.19 meters. And for the Y, let's set it to 4.47. There we go. So now our plane has the same dimensions, the same proportions of our image, of our logo image. So the next step is going to be to add this logo image and include it in our textures. So here I want you to scroll your mouse so that you can see this texture properties. So click on it and let's add a new image texture. So if we scroll a little bit down, you're gonna find this image settings, and we can open any image that we want. And I want you to pick your logo. So double click on it. So now we have it. And now all we have to do is to add the displace modifier. So with this plane selected, I want you to go to the modifier properties, and let's add the displace modifier, this modifier right here. And if you click on this box, you're gonna find our texture, our logo texture. Click on it, and now we got it. So in order for the displace modifier to work properly, we have to subdivide our plane. So let me show you. I'm gonna jump to the edit mode by pressing tab and make sure that everything is selected. You can press A to select everything. You can press Ctrl E to access this panel, and I want you to click on subdivide. So here we're gonna be having this tab, so click on it and increase this number of cuts to the maximum, which is 10. So right now, if we exit edit mode, you're gonna see a little bit of our logo from the top. So it's very pixelated, so we're gonna fix that just now. So I'd like to explain how this displace modifier works. So here, let me just bring our logo and let me explain. So basically, the displace modifier, it's gonna take the white surface and it's gonna be pushing it outside. It's gonna push it up. And the black surface is gonna be pushed down. For example, the gray, if we have some gray here, it's gonna be at the middle, right here. So this is how the displace modifier works. It pushes those vertices up or down. Alright, so the next step is going to be to subdivide our plane even more. So on the edit mode, we can press Ctrl D again, and let's subdivide even more. We can increase this number of cuts, for example to 3. Let's see that. So it's getting better. You can see better quality right now. So I press 7 to go to the top. So let's increase again the number of subdivisions. So Ctrl E, subdivide. We can increase that by 3. And let's see, you can press 7, go to the top. It looks better. We can add one last subdivision. Ctrl E, subdivide. Perfect, so now it looks pretty much good. So the next step is going to be to extract this edge line. So we need to extract this edge line and optimize it. To do that, first we have to apply this displace modifier. So we can go here to the modifiers. Let me show you. And we can click and choose apply. Alright, so now if we exit edit mode, if we jump to the edit mode by pressing tab, you're gonna see it as a mesh. You're gonna see our logo as a mesh. So what I'd like to do is to press 1 to go to the side. Actually, this is the front. You can press Z, switch to wireframe, so that you can be able to select all these vertices. So let's select these vertices. We must keep the top intact. We should not select the top. And X, delete the top. Okay, so it's a little bit messy. So what we have to do, we can press A to select everything, and we can try S, Z, and we can press 0 to have it completely flat. So our logo is completely flat on the surface, which is perfect. So the next step is gonna be to extrude it down. So you can press E, extrude it down like this. And now we have the ability to select only this edge line. So first, let's press Alt A to make sure that everything is deselected. And I want you to go to select, and let's click on select sharp edges. So this way we're selecting this sharp edge here, and the same on the bottom. And basically all we need is just one sharp edge. So I'm gonna press 1 to go again to the front, we can press Z, switch to the wireframe. I want you to press B to box select, and we can press Shift so that we can deselect the bottom. So all we need is just the top. Perfect. So next we can duplicate this, or we can reverse the selection so that we can delete everything else. So let's press Ctrl I to reverse the selection, and we can press X and delete everything. So now we are left with this edge line. So now all we have to do is just to improve it a little bit, and we're done. Also, I'd like to delete these faces. So if we switch back to the solid, we can see these faces. So on the edit mode, select everything, press X, and delete only faces, like this. Perfect. So the next step is going to be to add the smooth modifier. So with this edge line selected, we can go to the modifiers again, and let's add the smooth. So if we zoom closely, you can see this edge line. So I'm going to increase the repetitions until we're going to have some nice and smooth edge line. So let's set it, for example, to 50. There we go. It looks pretty much good. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the smooth modifier. And we can switch to the edit mode again. And I'd like to unsubdivide this. It looks like we have too many vertices. So we can go to the edge here on the top, and we can choose unsubdivide. We can increase the number of iterations. Let's see the quality. Something like this looks pretty much fine. Alright, so all we have to do right now is just to fill these areas. So let's press Alt A to deselect everything. And I'm going to use the L key to select this part. Then press F to fill it. Select Alt A again to deselect everything. Select again this part. Press F to fill it. But we're having an issue here. So the eye is a separate object. So what we need to do is to cut a hole here in the eye. To do that, I'd like to select this object here, the eye, using the L key. We can extrude it, press Z, extrude it up, and we can select it by pressing L, press B, separate selection. So we need to have this object separated from the rest. So I'd like to push it a little bit down. So let's press A to select everything. We can take it inside our logo like that. And what we can do, we can select our logo, our dragon, and we can add the Boolean modifier. And here I would like to pick, for the object, we're having this eyedropper. And click and pick this object. So now let's go ahead and apply the Boolean. So now if we delete this object, we can have a hole inside our dragon eye, which is perfect. So all we have to do right now is to add the solidify modifier so that we can give our logo some depth. We can increase the thickness, something like 0.3. Right click, shade auto smooth, and basically that's it. So basically we turn this image reference into a 3D object without modeling it in Blender.